university for one of the most prominent courses in the world. Laura was admitted in law school on government sponsorship, where she offered a Bachelor's of Law.
What university did you go to?
I went to Makerere. Yes. I go to Makerere, and I think what I need to say is that my dad and my mom were very excited about my grades. And now the idea of going abroad, I wasn't really into going abroad. I wanted to do law, and I didn't want to waste any more time without doing law. First year, good. And then we go to second year, and they push us to the second floor. And I was with another friend of mine who was also a wheelchair user, and we request that we be put in a lower lecture room, and that wasn't done. To go those stairs like 4 times in a day, and after walking that distance, it was really, really difficult. This particular dean who was dean by then said, this is the policy. Second years, you go to upper lecture room. So we can't change that. And I remember, I don't know how many times I went to class in second year, honestly. I cut most of the lectures. By the time I'd come for lunch, my legs would be swollen. I would have pain in my legs, so I would be like, So I don't remember attending any afternoon lectures in second year. Most of the retakes that I got them in second year. So I forgot about afternoon lectures. Rarely, except for lecturers that were quite strict, that those strict ones who would even read the registers. So somehow you'd have to go there for that course, but I don't remember attending most of those lectures in second year. What I did with this friend of mine, of course, our parents had to get a car, like a special hire, that would take us and back. Otherwise, we were not able to move from CCE to the Senate on a daily basis.
Laura has had the same dream for a long time, walking arm in arm with her mother, but her mother is only with her in spirit, because physically she is not here. She went to rest. Her demise was Laura's lowest point in life.
You were able to conclude campus with your year mates?
No. I was supposed to graduate in 2004, and then I lost my mom in 2004.
Oh dear.
My mom died in 10th June 2004, and I was doing my final exams at that point. So I remember I went for burial. When my mom died, I was doing my final exams. And she was first admitted here. So I would go check on her, stay with her the whole day, and then go back to campus and read a bit. It was during examination time, because I remember I went to Kiruhura for burial and came back that very night, because the next day I had an exam. So that was quite a trying moment for me. First, I had really, really wanted to see, my mom had to see me graduate. She was
directly a part of your journey.
She was like, I don't know. It is one of those emotional things that I don't talk about, because my mom, so my mom dies around that time. It was so bad for me, because through school I thought I didn't even know I was studying for myself. I thought I was studying for my parents, for my mom. So when she died, I was like, why the hell do I have to study? I mean, I can stay home, my dad can give me something to do, It was like all the studying I had done and all the struggles I had done were for nothing. Because I felt like that degree wasn't for me, it was for my mom. Because she did a very good job to make sure that I go to school. So anyhow, my mom
just looked at one person live with all your dreams.
With all my dreams. It was like everything I had worked for had gone with her. Of course, my dad is special too, but my mom was exceptional. Yeah, so she dies. And I remember
What was the problem? How did mom get ill? I mean, we've been having this whole good campus conversation.
yeah.
So how did mom get ill?
So mom she was always healthy. She wasn't so old because I think she died when she was about 65. So for me, that was not time for her to die really. And she wasn't the sickly kind of person. Actually, my dad was more sickly. She just wakes up one day and says she had a stomach problem and she was feeling too much pain in her stomach. So she's brought to Kampala and they examined her and they said she had a problem. She had developed some kind of cancer on her liver. And I think it had developed, but nobody had known that she actually had it. So when she was brought to the hospital, she first stayed at the Mayo Clinic for about 2 weeks. And the doctors, because she was diabetic as well, and they recommended that she be operated. And then the doctor said no, because she's diabetic, it is very difficult for us to operate her. She might die if the diabetes goes high during the course of the operation, then we will definitely lose her. So this doctor actually advised us and said, I do not recommend an operation right now for your mom. We need to first make sure that the diabetes is stable, and then we can think about the operation later. But we can control the pain and all that. Then my sisters were planning to fly her abroad, but she was in too much pain at that time. So then I think some of my relatives, my mom's brothers and sisters said, we need to make a decision. And I remember she called us in the room and said, I am under too much pain. And because she was a Christian, and she said, if I die with this pain, I will not go to heaven. So I need you guys to let me be operated. I think I need to go for an operation because I can't take this pain. So they took her to another hospital where the operation was going to take place. And this whole day when she was making the decisions and calling us and telling us, this is what I have decided, I can't wait for, they'd already gotten her a visa. And she said, I don't think I'm going to make it on the plane and all that. I need to, something needs to be done like now. So they took her to another hospital where the operation was going to take place. And that was like in the evening, about 4 or 5. And I was there. And then they take her to the theater. And the doctor says it's going to be a long process. So my sisters tell me, Laura, you have to go back to campus. We will let you know. You have to go back to school. You know, you have exams tomorrow, like you're doing exams, so you can't be here in the hospital seated waiting for what is going to happen. So we'll let you know that whatever comes out of the theater. So I go back to campus and I try reading. At about 11 in the night, I receive a call from one of my cousins that tells me Mom is gone. She didn't make it after the theater. She stayed like for about an hour. When I was called, my cousin told me, Mom we don't think she's going to make it. Because the doctor had told them, we think she's not going to make it. So I get a cab and I come to the hospital, and she was there and she couldn't speak but she was still alive. After a few hours, the doctor tells us, get out of the room, we need to do, they were doing all sorts of things, putting blood. And after a few minutes, there she was and she was gone.
Laura's mother was her reason for leaving. She was her soldier, her breath. Everybody that felt for her family's loss had Laura first in mind. Laura developed a depression disorder. It took 1 million messages and more to get Laura to move on with life.
At that point, I felt like life is not fair. I felt like my dreams had ended there. I actually said, I don't think I want to go back to school. I didn't want to go back to school. So we went home for burial. I went the very day for burial because my sisters and my entire family left ahead of time, but I went for burial because, everybody said you must do exams. So I go bury and come back. So I did my exams the way I did them. I don't even think I read again. I just went and searched for exams, whatever came. So I didn't graduate because then I had retakes. So I graduated the next year. So I didn't graduate on time. But of course, this whole year I was receiving, everybody was coming to counsel me, my family, my sisters. It was like the death of my mom revolved around me.
Due to discrimination and less opportunities, people with disabilities never look forward to the things the rest of society looks up to, and Laura was no different. She did not see marriage in her future because despite having been raised in love, she was fully aware of the stereotyped kind of thinking that is perceived by some people about others with disabilities. Nevertheless, a gentleman placed gold on her finger, fathered her child, and to this day, he is her best friend.
I saw some rings. I saw some gold.
Yes. Yeah.
You could just tell us something about that, the gold I saw in your hand.
I met a guy that liked me and we dated. Well, I guess
Was it easy for him to date you? Because
well, I don't know.
you didn't really care.
I didn't care. And when
Was it easy for him to date you?
I don't think it was easy for him to date me because he was coming from Rwanda and he would come like over the weekends. He would come and see me and would go out and all that. My depression's already. And then I told him, you know what, I don't want you to waste your time. I am right now focusing on my work and I am also focusing on so many other things, not dating. And then of course he kept insisting.
Did he take that seriously?
I don't think so, because the way he was insisting didn't look like he had taken my words seriously. And he told me, I know what you're going through and that's why you're saying all the things that you're saying. But for me, I'm here and I love you, blah, blah. And I said, okay. So he would come. For some, I think for the first 6 months, I thought I was just going out with him for the sake of it. After all, he comes and takes me out and I keep myself busy. Not that I'm in love with him or something. I don't really care. If he's available, he'll buy me nice gifts, nice perfume, all those things. Good. And that's how I took it. And indeed, as time went by, I just felt I need to get rid of this guy. He's becoming too much now. He's becoming too close. So I began coming up with several excuses and I told him, actually, I think I need to get a saved guy and you're not saved. So you and I nothing can happen. And then he was an Anglican, he's saved in the Anglican church. He told me, but Lord, I'm saved. I don't have to be Pentecostal for me to be saved. I can't be saved your way maybe. And then I said no. But for me that was like an excuse to push him away. So he insisted, and then one time I go for my friend's wedding in Rwanda and I meet him there. And then he was drinking beer and all that, and I said, oh, okay, so you're not even saved. You actually drink beer. So you and I, things can't work. So that's how I cut myself off him. And then he gets a job.
But all those you're looking for a way of getting rid of him.
Yes, all those I'm looking for a way of getting rid of him. So, and then he says, I can get you a job in the UN here in Rwanda. They'll be paying you well. So then I said, okay, so how much are they going to pay me? Like 1.5?
He was working for the UN?
Yes. Like 1.5. And then I said, okay, that's good, but then if I think about accommodation, transport, how much would I be saving? And then he said, no, you don't have to rent a house, you can stay with me. And I said, no, that's not possible, I can't stay with you.
You're my ex.
I can't stay with you, definitely.
You already classified him.
Yes, I had classified him like we're not dating anymore. So I said, no, we can't me and you can't stay in the same house. First of all, you're a man and I'm a woman, and we're not married and we're not sisters, so definitely we can't stay in the same house. And then he said, no, you're always stubborn, you're very stubborn, big-headed, and all this. And I said, no. So I realized the job wasn't in good faith. It was up to, how do I get this person close to me? So I didn't take that offer. I was already thinking about this, although the organization hadn't gone, there's no salary, there's nothing. Completely along the way, this other guy comes in the picture. When I began to work with disabled people, one of the things that I really wanted to do was to study sign language, because I thought it was nice. It was, it was a different way of communicating. I was really, really willing to learn sign language. So I'm in all these meetings that you go for, and then there's this guy really, really doing the sign language.